What was supposed to be a lighthearted late-night appearance quickly turned into one of the most uncomfortable moments in The Tonight Show's recent history. Mark Wahlberg, the A-list actor known for his intense roles and candid personality, had come on to promote his latest film, a gritty action drama that was already stirring Oscar buzz. Jimmy Fallon, as usual, greeted him with warmth and his signature enthusiasm. The two joked about past projects, Wahlberg's workout routines, and even traded light banter about Boston sports. The audience laughed along, unaware that the energy on set was about to shift dramatically. The moment came when Fallon brought up an old controversy: Mark's early legal troubles as a teenager, something the actor has tried to distance himself from in recent years. "You've always been about redemption," Jimmy said, reaching for a playful tone. "But do you ever worry the past still defines you?" Mark froze, his smile gone. "You serious right now?" Clearly thrown off. Fallon chuckled, nervously trying to soften the moment, but Wahlberg wasn't having it. The audience fell into an awkward silence as the tone snapped from playful to tense in seconds. Asterisk, "I came here to talk about the film," Wahlberg said sharply, adjusting in his seat. "Not to be reminded of stuff I've addressed 100 times." Fallon, visibly uncomfortable, tried to pivot. "I didn't mean anything by it. Just thought people would want to hear how you've grown." Mark cut him off. "Then ask about the work. Ask about the present." The tension became so thick it was almost unwatchable. Producers backstage reportedly scrambled, trying to decide whether to cut to commercial early, attempting to reclaim the vibe. Joked, "Hey, maybe I should just let you interview me." But the line fell flat. Wahlberg leaned forward, expression tight. "Nah, I think I'm good," he said, rising from his chair. "If this is what the show's become, I'll pass." The audience gasped, unsure whether this was staged or real. But the set crew knew it was real. Mark removed his mic, gave a quick wave to the crowd without looking back at Fallon, and walked off stage. Fallon sat stunned, blinking at the camera as producers rushed to a commercial break. The segment never aired in full. But what had transpired was already leaking online within the hour. Asterisk backstage, tensions didn't ease. Wahlberg reportedly refused to return, despite pleas from producers offering to reframe the segment. A source close to the actor later said Mark felt ambushed. "He's open about his past, but not when it's used to stir drama in a space meant for respect." Fallon, meanwhile, was said to be shaken and apologetic, insisting that he never intended to upset his guest. He thought it was a soft question, a staffer revealed, but he read the moment wrong. Mark wasn't in the mood to revisit that chapter on national TV. As the internet exploded with speculation, clips of Wahlberg standing up mid-interview went viral. Fans were divided. Some praised him for setting boundaries, others accused him of overreacting, but everyone agreed Fallon had miscalculated. The comedian who's built his brand on friendliness and harmless fun was now facing criticism for veering into territory he wasn't prepared to navigate. In contrast, Wahlberg emerged from the clash with a storm of support from his base, who admired his refusal to be baited. Public statements were withheld by both sides for over 24 hours, fueling further media frenzy. The clip became the most viewed non-musical moment on the show's YouTube channel that week. Asterisk eventually. Both Wahlberg and Fallon addressed the incident carefully. Wahlberg posted a short video to Instagram saying, "I believe in accountability and growth. But I also believe in respecting people's journeys. If I walk into a space that doesn't, I'll walk out." The post received millions of views and was widely interpreted as a quiet but pointed response to the interview. Fallon, for his part, opened the following night's show with a direct message to viewers. "Last night, I got it wrong. I asked a question that didn't land the way I thought it would. I respect Mark, always have, and I'm sorry if it came off the wrong way." The apology drew mixed reactions. Some commended his humility, others called it damage control. But behind the scenes, the show underwent subtle changes. Celebrity handlers started requesting tighter question lists. Producers became more cautious about late-night spontaneity. Fallon's team, once proud of their improvisational ease, now had a fresh awareness of the thin line between playful and personal. The fallout, though not career-threatening, marked a rare stumble in Fallon's usually smooth rapport with Hollywood's elite. Weeks later, Mark Wahlberg appeared on another talk show, this time with a host, known for long-form, respectful interviews. When asked about his walkout, Mark didn't name Fallon, but made his stance clear. "I've got nothing against jokes," he said, "but there's a time and a place. If you invite someone on to celebrate their work, do that. But try to sneak in a headline." The audience applauded. In that moment, Wahlberg reframed the incident not as an outburst, but as a boundary-setting move in a media landscape that often blurs lines for attention. Meanwhile, The Tonight Show moved on, but the incident remained one of those viral memories that people didn't forget. It became a case study in PR circles, a moment that reminded both entertainers and journalists that live TV, no matter how rehearsed or routine, is still unpredictable. And when a guest like Mark Wahlberg walks out not in a rage, but with deliberate purpose, it sends a message louder than any monologue. Respect isn't optional. It's expected. In the days that followed, industry insiders weighed in on what became a broader conversation about the evolving dynamics between celebrities and talk show hosts. Publicists, talent managers, and media strategists quietly reassessed how they prepared their clients for live appearances. The consensus was clear. Gone were the days when shows could coast on charm and nostalgia. Audiences were more media literate now, more attuned to tension, more likely to dissect every pause, every shift in tone. For Wahlberg, the moment became a paradox. On one hand, it reinforced his tough guy image, the actor who doesn't flinch, doesn't fake, and doesn't play along when it doesn't feel right. On the other, it revealed a vulnerability beneath that persona, a man who'd worked for years to evolve, only to be pulled backward by a single question disguised as casual banter. For Fallon, the incident was a warning shot. Though he remained a likable fixture of late-night TV, the Wahlberg walkout became a blemish in an otherwise smooth record. Internally, his team tightened the reins, quietly abandoning segments that leaned too heavily on gotcha moments or emotionally loaded topics. Meanwhile, Wahlberg's film saw a curious benefit. The publicity, though unplanned, drove curiosity. Viewers who had never planned to see it now bought tickets just to understand what the fuss had been about. Despite the intensity of the moment, Wahlberg's walkout didn't derail his public image. In fact, it seemed to sharpen it. Fans and media outlets began framing the incident as a turning point not just for Mark, but for celebrity culture at large. The narrative evolved. Here was a man who'd built his reputation on authenticity, refusing to let even a lighthearted format trivialize his hard-earned growth. Online hashtags like #RespectMark and #NotJustAsToryline trended for days. Analysts dissected Fallon's tone, Wahlberg's body language, and the reaction of the studio audience in frame-by-frame detail. TikTok creators mimicked the scene, parodying it in split-screen reenactments. Late-night comedy, once perceived as fluffy promotion and sanitized wit, had inadvertently exposed itself as a minefield, especially when sincerity was met with spectacle. Wahlberg, meanwhile, remained characteristically low-key about the whole ordeal. When later asked in a radio interview if he regretted walking off, he replied simply, "No. Sometimes walking away says more than staying seated." It wasn't just a mic drop answer. It was a mission statement. His quiet conviction turned him into something even more compelling, not just a star, but a symbol of resistance against media environments that blur the line between entertainment and intrusion. For Fallon, it was a lesson that would linger well past the trending cycle.